Hey guys, this is mid editing. We're almost the Nomad here. We had some weird stuff go on during this stream, and we didn't leave our mics muted like we normally do during the intermission, and there was some weird stuff going on. We had some conversation. I'll refer to the description for further detail. But the point of the matter is that we left it in the video because we referenced it directly after coming back from break, and there was no real way to edit it without things getting a little weird. So we left it in. You can refer to the video description for further details. The important thing is that we are safe. We are all good. We are forwarding the information to the proper channels, and we're all good here. We really appreciate those of you who joined us for the live stream and saw the weirdness live, and checked in on us and all that good stuff. So it's just to let you guys know we're safe, we're all good, and explaining why all the weirdness is still in the video, because it would be weird to edit it out and then not address it and not address the weird stuff that goes on in the episode itself, because we do make some references to it. But we're all good, and we really hope you enjoy the video. Thank you. Hello. Welcome back to Rolling Nomads. I am your game master for tonight, Ramos, and this, of course, is Ways Forward. We only have a single announcement, and that is that Eldritch Automata is still on Kickstarter. There's about 9 days to go. There are about 352 backers. They're about halfway to their funding goal. Eldritch Automata is, of course, a TTRPG modeled after. Well, it takes a lot of inspiration from a lot of the giant mecha media that you see. So there's hints of what is it? G Gundam is what you guys referenced. There was a reference in there.
Yeah, Evangelion and G Gundam.
Yeah, Evangelion I caught. G Gundam, all that good stuff. It's in a world where the apocalypse has happened, we fucked up, we failed, and now we're just dealing with the trauma of that. But we got giant robots out of it, so that's something. It's a world where we are haunted by horrors called, well, horrors and seraphs. And how do we fight those? With giant fuck off robots and trauma, lots of it. So, if you're interested in seeing how it's played, we'll be doing a two-parter episode of this Wednesday and next Wednesday during the duration of the Kickstarter for the pre-written module that they provided to us to help promote their Kickstarter, which is called The Dark Passenger. So if you're interested, come check us out over on Wednesday, and that's 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll be stretching it out from one session to two, get a full scope of things and really dive into it and explore it. The link will be in the chat right now because I'm prepared today, and we're golden. So that is the only announcement I have. Of course, let's get into what you actually came here for. Let's go ahead and meet our heroes, shall we?
Hello, and welcome. My name is Avery. I'm at Golden Gwydion on all of the social media platforms, and this evening I will be portraying the bombastic bard, the debonair debutante, the lascivious lover, Calamasacaris.
Hello, I'm Luna, or Druid by Night. You can find me at Druid by Night on all the social medias, including here on Twitch, where I stream Monday to Friday. And tonight I will be playing Sorcerer Supreme, Cersei Aveline.
Hello, everybody. I am Azure, or Rachel, and tonight I will be the Bear Witcher, Ingrid of Sintra.
I was muted
Of course.
the whole time. Not the whole intro, just the time explaining if Relg was going, and just now. We're doing great.
Oh, do you want to recap that really quick?
Relg's not going to be with us. They're doing real life things. We missed them. We're doing great.
Things are solid.
Recap.
Okay.
Save me from myself.
Last time on Witcher Ways of Old, as the Bone Man fled from the fray with the party, Cersei having dispelled the magical blizzard, Relg took a second shot in the dark at the creature, slaying the beast where it stood. Ingrid and Relg made their way over to the corpse of the Bone Man, while Cersei and Calamus remained back at camp, cleaning up the rotten food, including the now spoiled wine, much to Calamus's dismay. Ingrid and Relg make it to the body of the Bone Man, Ingrid decapitating the creature to make sure it stayed dead before checking in on Relg, who had, during the fray, captured the beast's gaze, looking into his eyes, making sure that nothing had taken hold within him, and witnessing the potential spell cast on Relg dissipate with the creature's death. Relg then quickly making his way back to camp to find Calamus while Ingrid began dragging the body back to camp. Not before, however, pulling free Fate, the relic weapon that they had been after, from its corpse. Calamus, furious at the spoiled wine, charges toward Ingrid, demanding her to bring it back so they could kill it again. To Ingrid's confusion, Calamus relented and began to walk back to camp alongside Ingrid, asking the Bear Witcher questions regarding other training to prepare himself for the upcoming potential Witcher trials, including questions about mutagens, specifically in regard to the Bone Man's corpse. It is in this moment that Ingrid once more expresses the direness of Calamus's wish to become a Witcher, including the high possibility of their death occurring for someone of his age taken to the trials, giving him this one last chance to back out, with Calamus once more sternly defending his stance. Meanwhile, back at camp, Relg and Cersei check in with each other, having a little bonding time while cleaning up the mess of the fight. The group is brought back together then as Ingrid and Calamus drag the body to the bonfire, Ingrid taking the opportunity to show Calamus the correct way to cut and clean a monster of this type, as well as giving him to talk about the choice. The royal choice, if you will, the one of the first true steps to becoming the Witcher. The party as a whole then discuss several possible ways to replenish their spoiled supplies, the biggest being Cersei using teleport, her newly learned spell, to take herself back to Aretuza for supplies and potentially further help. Calamus then breaching the subject of what happens after, that the party was close to Bear Keep and Renwick and Elodie. Several plans are also debated for this, some including teleporting to Bear Keep, others where stealth and observation are included, as well as a secret pathway that Ingrid might know in and out of Bear Keep. However, no solid plan is yet decided upon, deciding that at the very least to wait until the party had more information and time to observe Heron Kaduk and to see what they might be able to obtain. All the while, Ingrid continues to harvest the Bone Man, finding several useful items, including something quite interesting in its enlarged stomach, the mutagen for this creature, something Calamus had been questioning after. Ingrid then giving Calamus a brief lesson on mutagens and their longevity, and the idea of crafting the mutagen potion is once again breached. The night continues, with Rest once more finding the party, Calamus thinking about how close the creature came to harming Relg, Cersei taking mental stock of her plans for going to Aretuza, Ingrid thinking more on the potentials of Calamus becoming a Witcher and what that might entail, and Relg thinking deeply about everything that has happened since joining the party. That night, after sleep finally takes them, Calamus dreams. A family reunion that turns strange, as the party is there as well, including Relg, and then dark, as potentially Renwick invades this dream, manipulating it further. An introduction of sorts between the two, before Renwick shows the would-be Witcher bard what could have happened with Relg and the Bone Man. And with that, the episode had come to an end.
Indeed, it did. We pick up exactly where we left off. Calamus within your dream, who had inquired with the creature that you believed Renwick truly show himself, and to give up the showmanship, show himself truly. Anything more to say, Calamus?
I think for a moment, Calamus just regards this illusion. Says, I'm quite sure even you would prefer to be a beautiful nightmare. Come.
The creature smiles, Calamus. And you find yourself speaking, coming from your own throat, passing through your own lips, hear your own voice say, "But there is nothing beautiful about me."
Huh. Good trick. I like that. But surely, well, when it comes to me, it must be true. But you, there are people that sing your praises with no need for a bard. I've heard that you've done great things for the small folk, given up your wealth and title. Surely, we can be cordial, if nothing else.
Would like you to make a roll for me, Calamus.
Okay.
I need you to make me a human perception roll, please. Human perception.
$29.
29. You currently believe this is right. You examine the situation. This is a very lucid dream, Calamus. Things they feel more real here. And you examine the creature, the sound of your own voice, ground you stand on. Doesn't feel right. In the time that you've been with Ingrid, Cersei, when is the last time you felt self-doubt?
As much as I would like to say it was back in Bruges, I think it was charging the Bone Man with nothing but a knife in his hand just a few hours ago.
What about before that?
I would have to say it was back in Bruges when the mistress of the establishment called him Calamus. There's definitely a part of him that he still doesn't believe is worthy of the esteem and praise that comes with that moniker.
And what about before that?
When they were casing the young Vangleblood, I think there was certainly a single moment where Calamus thought there might be some good in this man, and maybe we're playing the wrong person. Maybe we're taking something from somebody who isn't a bad man.
I need you to roll me a single d10. Not anything. assess the situation, Calamus. Realization washes over you. Not like a wave, but a slow tide. Slow realization consumes you. And in this moment, you're almost... Well, I'll leave it to you, really. You find yourself realizing that it hasn't confirmed anything. This creature, it hasn't denied anything either. It's focused on you. And in this sense, I'm going to allow you a small more bit of information, and I'll give you a choice of a role. This could very well be you. You faced a lot of self-doubt in these past few days, and in these times traveling with these wondrous people touched by magic, witchers renowned for combat prowess, it's understandable that you might feel inadequate. Are you working through that? Or is this really the machinations of a monster? You think you might be hoping it might be a monster. Calamus, I'll leave it to you to decide if you want to accept that or not. Simply make the choice, and that will determine if you roll anything.
I think at the end of the day, Calamus has never been the kind of man who seeks out the convenient solution or the convenient patsy, if you will. As much as he wants to believe that this could be Renwick's machinations, there is a part of him that is very aware that this could just be a very, very lucid dream. And so I think in that moment he's at the crux of decision and will defer to indecision until he can really figure out what's going on.
Your smiles. Weak. You'll die here. The ballad of Calamus Agris will come to a stuttering halt. Crooked note. It's the song. No great crescendo. No beautiful symphony. A bumbling, stuttering mess.
I always thought it might. But I think I may surprise you. Perhaps I might even surprise myself. Now that would be a feat now, wouldn't it? Maybe they're one and the same.
Down to meet your gaze. We won't survive.
Lloyd will. Close Calamus is gonna slip the dagger from the sheath at his wrist and just stab.
Do this. Creature howls out in your voice. Takes the form of the strange things you've encountered. The arms and legs elongate again. Take the form of the creature that you just saw felled. The back bubbles for a moment as it bursts forth wings. Thin membranes. You can almost see the veins running through that of a bat. Its on features of a higher vampire. The nose becomes stunted, slitted. It's become pointed. It's a grotesque amalgamation of the creatures that you past number of days. What do you do, Calamus?
Grips the hilt of that dagger tightly. So this is the way it must be then. Can't escape this place until you let me free. Surely we would like to avoid any further unpleasantness. So what are you here for?
Do what must be done.
I'm afraid I'm far too much of a coward to take my own life. And I will not allow you to take mine. So it seems we've reached a conundrum.
There is only one way. And it lunges for you, Calamus. Claws out, ready to dismember you. What do you do? What are you going to do?
Thomas is just gonna try and dodge out of the way.
Go ahead and give me that roll for me, please. For mechanical and for clarity's sake, this is going to be combat, but a bit shortened. Things are going to be blurred a little bit.
16.
16. It's on you, Calamus. It's gripping your wrist, the one without the blade, and is forcing you almost to stand on tiptoes as it screams into your face. You can catch hints of your own eyes, and the creature's form is grotesque, an amalgamation of things. It says, "You are a coward. You will doom us for your indifference and for your indecisiveness. Do what must be done."
It's only indecisiveness to a very firm point. And like, its face is in my face, yes? Calamus will lean in and bite into its neck.
What is the intention here, Calamus?
As we know, the human mouth is not truly suited for the rending and tearing of live flesh. But that is Calamus's goal, I think, in that moment. Something sparks in him, this sort of primordial essence of who he and Ingrid are as Cintrans. This indomitable will to stand and fight no matter how many lines and legions of soldiers are in front of you. If the cause is just, we fight. And so I think in that moment, Calamus just channels that and leans in and bites and shakes his head like a rabid dog, just trying to pull away whatever comes out in his mouth.
Less like a dog, Calamus, you tear. You rip, you feel your own form change. Not into a hound. A dog is too tame. You feel yourself change into that of the Cintran lion. You rip, tear, you can feel the gore enter your mouth. Do you release it all?
Not until it stops moving, gurgling.
It grips at your back. You can feel its talons stab into you. You can feel the pain, the sharpness, your own blood mixing with its. Eventually it does stop. There you stand on padded feet. A golden lion over a creature. Something's coming behind you, Calamus. Hear the movement of dirt and earth.
This will just shake their mane as they turn to face the thing.
It's a figure you almost recognize. Is a gentleman clad in armor, some sort of leathers, it looks like. A dark cloak over their shoulders. Bears a striking resemblance to you, Calamus, save for the eyes that are stark contrast to the night that surrounds you. They are blazing gold. Amidst their armor, they wear a simple chain that holds a medallion that is shivering in the subtle way that a witcher's would. And you can see it stop. You can almost make out the animal. This man does not smile. His eyes never leave you. The eyes on the medallion settle. When they meet yours and they finally stop, this is when you wake. Relg is fast asleep next to you. His brow furrowed, muttering something. What do you do, Calamus?
Not gonna cry. Calamus looks over at Raug. Take out his book very quickly, because a song lyric just dawned on him. He will write, "For you are so beautiful when you sleep, yet so unaware of it." He'll take his fingers and just sort of comb the hair out of Rogue's face. Give him a kiss on the forehead. And then he will exit the tent, kind of see what time it is, see if the sun started to rise or not.
Not quite, but you can see the beginnings, that lightness over the mountaintops right before it turns to blue or that orange.
Is anyone else awake?
You peek your head out. It doesn't look like it, no.
Calamus, yeah, as rare as it is outside of the tent and not fully clothed. He's got his leather pants on, back covered in the skeleton knotwork tattoos. He'll just go stand at the mouth of the cave and wait for the sun to rise and wait for the sun to warm his skin the way he used to when he was a kid. And he would stand in the window of the hayloft of the barn, waiting for the sun to rise so he could be the first one to see it.
You do this. Our camera rewinds just a bit. As we pass to you, Cersei. You're at Aretusa, wandering the halls. You don't think it's a memory. Stagnant though your form may be, you can tell that you're not younger. Nor is it a far-flung vision of the future. You don't feel older either. This is here and now. You're moving through the halls. It's quiet. There's a light hum that usually passes through these halls. You can almost feel the magic in the stonework. It's silent now. Where are you going to go?
I think Cersei is in a hallway, her hand brushing against the stone walls as she's walking by. And she's headed for where the transformations take place.
You find it. You find a gathering of your fellow sorceresses to welcome you in. You're a bit late, but that's alright. This is a very special occasion. On the table, drawn in ink, and an amalgamation of other elixirs and potions, with designs and insignias all over his body, lies Calamus, wearing naught but a bit of a loincloth. Join us, says Aurelia.
She'll look around, see who's in the room, and see Calamus and walk in to join the circle.
You find your friends, His fellow sorceresses, you also find Ingrid. Overseeing everything, tending to a few bottles of things. She doesn't look... She looks very focused, very serious. What would you like to do, Cersei?
I think she would ask just out loud to whoever would answer, "How is he?"
As expected. Calamus, how are you?
Have we begun?
Not quite, dear. You still need to begin. Well, aside from the few teas you've been drinking, unless you've not been sticking to your dietetic regimen, you should be ready for the next phase.
I'm ready.
Ingrid, do you think he's ready?
There's probably a very solemn look about her that comes over after the seriousness. Eyes looking over to Calamus, meeting his eyes if he's looking back at her. I have done what I can. If he is ready, he is ready. If he is not, he is not. And there's almost a sharpness to the way she says that, a layer of pain underlying the seriousness of her words.
An impure blade must be broken to be remade strong. You taught me well. It's time.
Then let us see.
At your honor, Master Witcher. An empty chalice. Far too gaudy for this type of thing, Ingrid. Not from what you remember. But it's passed to you. Potions are prepared. Gather what information you can. Cersei, in this dream you seem to remember things. Grasses. Things you shouldn't know. Corn lily. Speargrass. Wolfsbane. Nightshade. Wild rye. There are others. Names of herbs that you recall in a list. You've done it. You've recreated what has not been seen for years. More than that. If this is successful, this will make you go down in either fame or infamy. If it fails, you will be hunted, disbarred, and cast out for recklessness. The Lodge of Sorcerers cannot afford this failure. They cannot afford to ally themselves with you should this fail. This will be seen as an atrocity. Witchers held the secrets. Mages crafted the key. Cersei, if this fails, it will be your fault. Ingrid holds the cup. You provided the serum. Ingrid in this moment, Calamus in this moment, you're both stopped, frozen. This dream, Cersei, it takes your approval. What is your will?
I think knowing all of that, Cersei would have a very selfish thought that maybe it's not worth it. But then she'll remember a promise she never made. And prepare if she knows it. If she knows what to do. A spell. A ritual. To help the process, to help the body.
Taught to you by a raven-haired sorceress. You have what you need, Cersei.
She'll simply say, proceed.
Ingrid, Calamus, you find yourself free, locked, out of time no longer. What do you do?
Ingrid's moving to stand over Calamus at this point, looking down at him. No tears, but there is in her eyes, in her Witcher eyes, there is a cacophony of emotion. There's regret, sadness, pride, fear, all going through her as she says to Calamus, I told you so long ago now that there was no going back. But I offer this now to you. This is the last chance. Tell me you're ready, and I will put my trust in you, and we'll make a Witcher of you.
I've lived as a coward my whole life. You showed me there's something better. If this is where I die, you'll have given me the one thing I could never take for myself. Die brave. I know we were tossing around the bat for a while. I think we both owe our home that there be a school of the lion.
She's gonna smile softly at that, but it doesn't reach her eyes. And she's gonna nod her head. She's gonna say, I taught you everything that I know. But that is all that I know. What's next is up to you. Should you survive this, become better than me.
We'll become
And
better together. All of us. Together.
And she begins. It's gonna... Yeah.
Cersei, you watch. As do all the larger sorceresses. A historical moment. Calamus, do you drink?
Every last drop.
Like acid. Singes as it goes down. The worst whiskey. The most rotten tea. hints of corpses fill the air as you exhale. A battlefield inside your own physical form begins to play out. A war. Cersei, you watch Calamus writhe. He is strapped down. You must begin the first injection. This tea is not it. There are needles at his wrists. Cersei, what do you do?
Is Yennefer there?
She is.
Yennefer, help me.
She simply nods. She begins.
And what does she do? The spell or the injections?
The
I will do
injections.
the other. I will do the spell.
Sorceresses chant, lending you their power. You can see Calamus's eyes bulge out of his head. Black veins take every form. They move and shift across his skin. The whole body exposed. You can see as he moves, he tries to rip free from the restraints. A horrible cry begging for it to stop. Calling for it to end. He's changed his mind. He doesn't want this. There's a grip as, even with shortened fingernails, he digs in, clenched fists. You can see the blood from his palms drip down. No longer just blood, a tinge of murky green as the mutagens already begin to flood his system. Calamus, you cannot breathe. Fear response so primal. Everything is a threat. Every person in this room has done this to you. For now, you have strength. There is adrenaline coursing through your body, arguably making this process worse as it floods the mutagen through your system. Is there anything that you say, Calamus?
I think Calamus's eyes will flick to Cersei very quickly, and just a panic as these black veins crawl up the side of his face and around his eye. Don't let Relk in. He's trying to maintain this stillness, but the adrenaline, the fear, the strength, there is a primal reaction which occurs in the human brain when we cannot breathe. It's commonly referred to as asphyxiation anxiety, where the eyes dart and they move and they look for any possible escape, any possible thing that could get, if something is on their back, off of their back, or something they could run into to get whatever's in their throat to come up. And so it's just that sort of caged animal looking around the room, trying to find some sort of method of escape. And while normally they would be trying to quiet this, I think it's gone a little far beyond Calamus's threshold for being able to control his primal reaction to these sorts of things.
Say Ingrid is probably holding him down as best as she can in certain ways, and looking to Cersei in that moment, and eyes wide. Is there anything you can do? Anything?
Cersei will try to block out the distractions and channel harder.
Roll me a d10.
3.
Chant. You channel along with your sorceresses. Ingrid, you hold What if this is successful? The first Witcher made in countless years. You hold him down. He screams. Tears begin to flood. Against your own will, Calamus. It's tears mixed with fluids and blood. It's as if your eyes feel like they're melting. Everything hurts. Your senses become more acute. You can hear your tendons straining against the restraints. You can hear your muscles beneath the skin flexing harder than they've ever flexed, trying to release yourself. You're becoming so aware of the flowing of blood in everyone else's veins as you look upwards. The single skylight that is provided here, done in the middle of the day, in front of the gods and all to see. Something moves along the skylight. A smiling figure as you move and you look past Ingrid. Form of a man, noble dressed, and smiling. Calamus, I want you to roll me a single d10. Ingrid, I'd like you to do the same. Cersei, you as well.
Seven.
Jesus Christ, 3.
Do 10s explode?
The 10 will explode.
16.
16. Ingrid, as he begins to speak, you can look toward what he's looking at, and as he calls out Renwick, the only word you're allowed to choke out Calamus. Ingrid, you look up, and there he is, already falling, already descending, claws extending. Cersei, unfortunately, you are unable to act. You are chanting, trying to hold this man together. Ingrid, what do you do?
He's falling onto where Calamus is.
Looks about, yes.
Okay, Ingrid is going to push herself up off of Calamus and grab Fate and from its scabbard on her back and attempt to in a motion pull it out and slash at the falling Renwick.
Give me a strong attack, please. Under normal circumstances, I would allow you to choose. This
That's
is not
-3,
normal
right?
circumstances. This.
Okay. Where's my swordsmanship? 10 plus 7, 17. 26 minus 3 is 23.
Ingrid, you miss. And in seconds, he's not on Calamus. He's eye to eye with Cersei. Cersei, you stop mid-chant. He smiles and says, "No. You aren't mine. They are."
Out.
He moves swiftly.
Get out of my. Get out!
In seconds, the mages that formed a circle around Calamus cut down one by one. Saves Aurelia for last. Ingrid holds her by the hair, her neck exposed. Calamus' pain is still too great. You can witness this, but unfortunately, especially with the restraints, you are unable to assist in any meaningful way. As he holds Aurelia, as her wrist held down, her right hand is free. She looks to you, Cersei. We tried. And he bites deep. Ingrid, what do you do?
Considering what Aurelia did for Ingrid when they were last at Aretusa, and knowing her relationship with Cersei, Ingrid is going to let out a primordial scream as she charges Renwick, attempting to drag Fate on the ground as she charges and attempt to uppercut across his spine as he's biting into her.
You do this. Combat ensues between the two of you. Calamus, you are restrained. Cersei, what are you going to do?
So, it's not a memory. It stopped. Everything froze before we proceeded with the trial.
Correct.
It's just a dream. It's just a dream. Wake up. It's just a dream. And she's gonna try to wake herself up.
Roll me a d10.
Six?
Okay. Behind you is her voice. And even as you turn to look at her, she is striding past you. Her own claws extended. You forgot me.
No, I didn't.
Playing with your friends. She traces a talon across Calamus' just above the belly button as it traces up the chest toward his throat. Ingrid is fighting Renwick. She
Can I
taps.
say in that moment, Ingrid is
taps the
probably screaming at
jugular.
Cersei?
Go on.
I was going to say, in that moment, Ingrid is probably screaming at Cersei, "What are you doing? Help! We got to stop him!"
Watching Elodie.
Dying with new friends.
We were coming.
A tap
This is
on the
just a dream.
jugular. Calamus, you feel it pierce now. Small, swift. Just a poke. While you dawdled. I was alone. While you chased toys. Another tap, Calamus. Piercing deeper now. While you chased toys. I was torn limb from limb.
We were coming. We were on our way. This isn't right. This isn't real.
For each prayer. Another tap. Deeper now, Calamus. Unanswered. It will take someone you love. A final jab through your jugular, Calamus. Just as your eyes begin to change to gold.
I think at that, the spell would cease and Cersei would just drop to her knees. Sobbing and begging for him to stop.
You are nothing to me. Cersei, you awaken. What do you do?
I think Cersei would wake up with the start, sitting up. She would look at her hands. And she would pull her knees to her chest. And sob.
You do this. Ingrid, you hear this. You're a light sleeper, especially nowadays. We will rewind the clock and take a peek at you as well.
Are you good, Asher?
Sorry.
What?
You good?
What's wrong?
I
You
just
take a minute.
sorry, just a little distracted. I got this weird email. Sorry, I'm just not here fully at the moment.
Do we want to take a break a little bit, maybe?
No. I'll be fine. Just
No,
kind of
I
spooked
think-
me a little bit.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right.
Some water really quick. 1 second. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. We take a moment and our camera casts back to you, Ingrid, while you sleep.
Actually, I'm sorry. Let's take a break after all. I gotta.
For sure. No worries.
Yeah, that's fine.
We're going to swap over to our intermission screen. We will be back very, very shortly.
Thank you.
We are clear.
Okay.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna need a second. I'm gonna stand up for a quick second.
No, you're good. You're good.
Your feet fine? Seems real upset.
Yeah, I
over
don't know if I
something.
went too hard for that. I'll double check with her when she gets back as well.
I mean, yeah. If we need to call it, we got something on the air for a minute where we
Yeah,
did
it's not-
our duty.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll check when she gets back to see if she's doing good. She said she got an email.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Yeah,
I mean,
she
she told me
Go ahead.
Well, she told me she set up pop-up notifications for emails because Nomad stuff.
Ah, okay. Yeah, because she usually check her email normally, so I'm just like, I don't know, that's new on me, but you know.
Should I like message her?
I mean,
I don't want to bug her, but I think with a wellness check at the very least would be good, just to double check.
yeah, no, yeah, why don't I just shoot Rachel a message really quick?
Right on.
Hey, I'm back. Sorry about that. Oh,
You good?
Are you okay?
Sound a little off.
yeah.
Sis.
What was that?
You sound a little off, sis. You good?
Yeah, just weird email, like I said. It's probably nothing. Honestly, it's kind of stupid, but like that I shouldn't have gotten upset. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. If it made you feel funky, like, yeah, it's all good. Are you like level? Like,
Yeah, I'm all right. Just like rereading over this as I this kind of reads like one of those not creepypastas, but fucking remember those old chain letters that we used to fucking get all the time in our email?
Oh
Jesus
god, I
Christ.
hate those.
Yeah.
Like
Those would do
it
that
kind of yeah, like
What
those
is it?
cursed ass huh?
What does this say? I mean, you have to tell us if you're not comfortable, but
It's just it's so fucking cryptic. One second, let me pull it up really quick again. Like it's it just says, "Do you know I know, but I'm not supposed to tell anyone. But it's been buzzing around my brain for so long now that I got to get it out. I'll tell you more, but first I need to make sure I can trust you. So here's a little thing, something small, that it never even got a notice. Do the right thing. I'll be watching." I don't even know who the heck this is from. It just says
the
from
fuck?
A. Yeah.
What the fuck?
Is somebody trying to like dox you or some shit?
I don't fucking know, but it came with like a screenshot of some like chat room. From like it says it's for like the poster is the name is supposed to be like never here. Has a 3 as one of the E's, is one of like those old ass usernames used to be. It says
That's
don't
what it
fuck
said.
with magic people. And then it follows up with, I know you aren't supposed to fuck with magic, but every time you hear about someone getting burned by it, they're acting like a complete idiot. I've actually been careful, you know. I've done the research and weighed the options. And I'm not saying this is the right choice for everyone, but I really think it's the right choice for me, even if it does come with a curse. It even mentions a curse. What the hell? My mentor and the coven agree, so I'm going to go through with the ceremony tomorrow. I'm going to go and going to become a real sorcerer. I really don't need your negative comments, but please feel free to wish me luck. This is cryptic as hell.
What?
Yeah, you
Like,
should.
do you know anybody who would like fuck with you like that? Like,
I feel like you should hold on to it just in case.
Yeah, for like evidence or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm trying to like. I don't know. Does it feel like threatening?
I mean, you know, the fact that it says I'll be watching, do the right thing, that kind of feels weird and very off-putting. But
Do
I don't know, it's just creepy.
Do we want to call it tonight and just kind of figure this out? We don't have to keep this going, especially like we're diving into like heavier themes. So like we're gonna jump into Ingrid's psyche. So you know that's heavy, and I don't want you to like be in a bad space during that.
I appreciate it, but no, I'll be fine. I really want to do this. You know how much Witcher means to me, and like it does calm me and stuff. So playing on will help. And you know, we did that last week already, anyways. So
Fair.
uh, hey,
up?
I think Cyrenus is trying to tell us our mics are on.
Are you
Oh, fuck.
fucking serious? Outstanding. I'm doing great tonight. Let me. There we go. Unmuted. We're good. Hello, everyone. We apologize about the intermission stuff. We had to deal with some stuff. We're going to be dealing with some stuff later. We're good. We're safe. We understand that some of the stuff we were talking about sounds a little scary. But we're good. We're going to press on for tonight and deal with it. We're going to discuss how to deal with it after the game and figure out what we're gonna get up to. But for now, let me. Oh, look, the spooky music is still on. Very cool.
I mean,
sick.
apt.
Sweet. So, picking up exactly where we left off. Cersei, you are awake and crying. Calamus, around this time, you are awake and awaiting the sunrise. We're going to rewind just a bit and find Ingrid asleep.
I would say probably what ended up happening was, once again, probably from either hyper-exhaustion or just general weariness, she intended to meditate, and while holding fate in front of her, fell asleep.
Absolutely. So, Ingrid, you sleep. It is a familiar place that you come to, and unsurprising as you are so close. You walk through the empty courtyard of Haran Kaduk.
I immediately look towards the corner of the courtyard, a very special place that's somewhat shielded from the snow, thanks to an overcropping over it from the battlements. Trying to gauge when this is. Is there the graveyard?
Well, Ingrid, much like Cersei, slowed though your body might be, you do not feel younger. Nor is it a far-flung vision of the future, as you do not feel older. And you realize you are not alone. At your side are 3 companions. You see Cersei Aveline, prepared, wearing the cloak that will provide some sort of stopping power, the armor that she chose. You see Relg, bow in hand, watching the battlements for any signs of movement. Bow strung and arrow knocked. Then you see Calamus, in dark armor, wielding a silver sword of his own. He's scanning battlements, more so scanning everything on your level. As he casts his eyes left, you can see that they are changed. A sharp gold.
Probably in this strange sense of how dreams can be, even if she doesn't realize in the moment it's a dream. The realization is going to strike a sharp pain in her chest as she sees those golden eyes. But she's going to say, Calamus, what do you see?
Calamus, what do you see?
I see a kill box around here in the open. We need to get inside.
Agreed. The way in is not far. Cersei, are you prepared? You know what's in there.
Cersei will be pulling on gloves that she has. And she'll just nod and look very serious.
Understood. As usual, stay behind us. Safest there. Though safety is not something that I can guarantee once we cross the threshold. Once again, her eyes are going to go to that corner where the makeshift graves that she had created for her fallen would have been.
There stands a gravestone here, Ingrid. Though it should not be pristine, in many ways it is. And you would recognize the name were it not slashed and scarred. The stonework cut against with some sort of talon or blade. So much so that it looks as if someone took a chisel and began to take chunks of it out.
She grits her teeth. A low, deep growl emanating from her throat. She pulls fate free from its sheath. Let us go. The more we wait, the more we risk. And she's going to start walking towards the entryway.
You all move through the doors. It is not as you planned. Can you remember the plan? Seems distant now. Foggy.
Wasn't Cersei supposed to?
Through the front gate you move. And that thought is caught and cast away, Ingrid. Doors creak open. You expect to be swarmed. You expect reinforcements. You expect an army. But there are nothing but corpses. Of peasant soldiers. Whole village cut down amidst the corpses of Garcane and what are clearly Bruxa and other vampiric creatures. The small swarming beasts that you faced in Vizima are scattered, pinned to walls with arrows, sliced open and ripped to shreds. This is a massacre.
Calamus, Cersei, on your guard, something else is here. Something's wrong. As we're walking across this field of corpses, for the peasantry, what sort of damage am I seeing upon them?
Some are simply run through, others are bearing the marks of arrows and bolt. Others are torn, as if by talon or claw.
The arrows that I notice, Ingrid's gonna lean down and pull one free. Do I recognize the make of the arrowhead?
No. Rogue crouches down, as if having the same thought. You hear a soft and a as you now look, and there is an arrow in Relg's back, well placed, the left portion of his body, through the heart. They go to speak
No.
as they look to you, Calamus. Blood. No words. And they fall.
Calamus will
Magic
reach
healing.
over and grab Ingrid by the collar. We knew there would be losses. It's time to move.
Cersei, magic healing, you dip down. It's too late. Swift, quick. Single strike. Single arrow.
Cloak.
Cast cloak.
Ingrid's
Ingrid.
looking in Calamus in the eyes, Witcher to Witcher for a second, her brow furrowed as those words leave Calamus's lips, words that she knew Calamus would not be saying in that moment. Would Relg have fallen? And realizing the breadth of the change that has taken Calamus with the trial, and a pang of sadness, but also understanding. Cersei, we need to move now. Where
Cersei
did...
is invisible.
It's just us.
Right. It must be done. As she says that, Nyoka's words come to her mind, the final words that he had spoken to her. And with fate in hand, and with Calamus at her side, and not sure where Cersei is now, pressing forward.
Do this. Cersei, do you follow?
For now.
Through the halls. You're not entirely sure how or why, but you know where to go. You move, and the corpses don't stop. Knights now. Among peasants and vampiric creatures. They died recently. You move.
We recognize the armor of the knights.
Mercenaries. Sell swords that have taken to wearing the armor of knights. It's all from around the entire continent. Monster slayers, perhaps? Or hired guard by Renwick? Matters little now. You move.
Calamus, it might be a good idea in this moment, considering Quen. Keep it up. And she's going to cast Quen.
Calamus will
Yes.
also make the sign.
In
Yes.
Dream World, this would be her casting it at the maximum 7.
Calamus, cast Gwen as well. View at the ready. You move. In a body that you recognize. Brutalization. As blade pierces her to stone, pinned to the wall, in almost a messianic figure, arms outstretched, heart ripped out. is Elodie's limp form. Eyes still open. No muscle to keep her head aloft. She tilts down.
I think you would hear Cersei scream, but you wouldn't see her.
Ingrid's going to move up to the body. The blade that's pinning her. Is it the one that she thinks it is?
No. No decorum. No beautiful thing here. No delicious irony. A brutalization with a peasant's blade. And as Cersei screams, an explosion around her. As the form becomes visible, something moves up next to you, Cersei. In a moment, throat is cut.
Cersei.
You recognize this bomb. Moondust. Something runs. You can see the silhouette disappear. Amidst the dust, Calamus, Ingrid, what do you do as Cersei lies bleeding?
Ingrid in that moment is going to run right up to Cersei's body and attempt
Gonna
to
try and catch Ingrid by the shoulder as she moves by.
If he
No
does,
distractions.
she's going to punch him in the face.
Calamus will take it. Just spit the blood. No distraction. We cannot get what we came for, but we can get vengeance, and that must be good enough.
Ingrid's going to look over to Cersei. What is she saying?
She's bleeding. Cersei, do you have any final words?
I think Cersei would simply just be reaching towards Elodie's body with her dying breath. And just staring at her.
The last
End
bit
her,
of... Go on.
and end her suffering quickly if you must, but we must move.
Ingrid's going to growl at Calamus and shove him off and move up to Cersei and attempt to, in vain, more than likely, stop the bleeding.
And with the last bit of strength, Cersei, you reach out for her. Unable to get to her as pressure is put on your neck. It ends. And now there are two.
Rid, we don't have time.
Ingrid's gonna rest her forehead against Cersei's shoulder for a second, and she's just gonna say, "I'm sorry." And she's gonna pick up Cersei's body and go to move it next to where Elodie is. And then, with fate in hand once more, she's gonna nod to Calamus to continue on.
Calamus, do you go?
I think Calamus will just look over Ingrid for a moment. What use was that? And just kind of shoulder past her and keep moving.
Ingrid, do you
Ingrid's
follow?
glaring at him. Ingrid's glaring at him for a moment. All the regret and the worry that she had for turning Calamus and what it might do to him outside of death in that moment being, well, what's the word I'm looking for?
A Witcher.
Yeah. She's going to follow.
More corpses. This time of beautiful women in gowns, holding stones. The mages of Arethusa. You move.
Was Aurelia there? Was Marguerite there?
All of them.
She's just going to give him a passing glance, sorrowful look, but continue on.
Move. Calamus, Ingrid, you hear combat. You think struggle. Up ahead. But Ingrid, something else catches your eye. A white-haired woman lies dead, slumped against the wall. Sword cast to the side. She died with it in her hand.
Ingrid's going to move up to her, checking the face. It's been a while, but is it her?
There's no mistaking those eyes. And they're still open. Calamus. Another distraction.
That's Siri, correct? I'm just making sure.
You wasted so much time. And they're all dead. Look around. Know all of these faces. And every corpse that you fucking stand on has propelled you to here. Now they can die in vain, or you can take your vengeance. Your choice. I'm not going to sit here and wait for Providence. And Calamus will stride forward unabated, beginning to run at this point.
Do this. Calamus,
Ingrid's
I'd like
still
you to
sitting.
roll me a d10. Continue, Ingrid. Hold on to your number, Calamus.
Ingrid's still sitting there for a second, hearing Calamus saying those words, but not looking at him. Not liking what he's become. And also just whispering, I failed you again. He won't leave here alive. Maybe I won't either. But such is the way. I'll see you again. She's going to press her forehead against Ceres for a moment. And then place Ceres' sword back in her hand. And then run off after Calamus.
What was the result of your roll, Calamus?
7.
Ingrid, Rush in. Calamus is in the midst of combat. This is the Grand Hall, where you shared so much meal with your compatriots, your brothers and sisters in arms, now turned into a throne room. Calamus fights, silver sword in hand, same one you gave him, the same one that was given to you. You take stock of the situation, Ingrid. On the throne sits a body, torn free from his arms, and a deep, horrible hole in his chest, as if twin daggers were carved over and over and over. You see the noble Renwick, dead as you always dreamed. Calamus fights, blade in hand, against a viper. Nyoko wields this blade, both hands intact. His eyes hard. His face unyielding any emotion. She trained you well.
Nyoka, stop!
But he doesn't. Calamus, what do you do?
You are nothing to me. You're just meat. You're worse than he was. And I imagine as Nyoka's blade makes contact with the Quen sign that Calamus has, a spark of gold that for a moment briefly flashes through Calamus's hair, giving it the illusion of that golden lion's mane, as his other hand comes off of the blade and presses against Nyoka's chest as he makes the sign for Ard. As the rush of air pushes him away so that Calamus can get a running start to leap and swing.
As that's happening, Ingrid has not stopped running into this, by the way. I would like to have it at that point to have Ingrid with Fate in both her hands, dragging it up in that uppercut and attempting to parry Calamus's charge.
Roll me an attack, Calamus. I'm going to deal with your additional points for this dream sequence. So add your stuff up and I'll give you a number to add onto it after the fact. Ingrid, I want you to roll me a block, please.
Oh, geez. Hold on.
Before modification, that is a 22.
I pulled up the thing. Where's block on here? Combat, actions, defensive actions. Dexterity plus weapon skill plus range modifier plus 1d10. Okay. Dexterity plus... the weapon skill is swordsmanship.
Calamus, for your knowledge, that is a 30.
10 plus 17. Or 10 plus 18. What would be the range modifier for this?
There is no range modifier.
Okay. $27.
By 3, Calamus. You may strike. You rush past, you can duck under the blade, leap over. It is your choice.
I think in this style that Calamus has adopted, that is a mix of his own style of swordplay and what he's learned from Ingrid. Instead of trying to move to avoid contact with Ingrid's blade, his muscles tense and surge, and he attempts to crash directly through this parry and cut. Just pure brute force.
I would say narratively then, in that moment, as their blades crash, it's Calamus's stern devotion to this attack versus Ingrid's pseudo-emotional mental state at this moment, her confusion. And as their blades meet, there's a second of resistance before her block just breaks.
Indeed, and not a clashing of steel or silver, this is a clash of will. And for but a moment, Ingrid, yours wavers as Calamus meets his target. You carve into Nyoka, Calamus, deep down the right side of his torso. He grips the blade. His blade. Kind of you to return it to me. He smiles. You see his arm change. The arm that was, you remember, Ingrid, wrenched free. Changes. Elongates the fingers into talons. The arm goes pale as it grips with monstrous strength, Calamus. You are a hand-me-down. A runner-up. You will never be one of us.
I am more than you've ever been on your greatest day.
I invoke the trial of the sword. You will never be ready. He shoves you, mixing in the sign with Ard, Calamus, as he shoves you away. Now, arm in arm, rather shoulder to shoulder with Ingrid.
Calamus just cracks his neck. I heard
Nyoka.
you had an obsession with death. You've invited it too soon, old man.
Nyoka, what have you done? What have you done?
I am reminding you of what we are. He holds out the monstrous talon towards you, Calamus, and a pointed finger, and raises a viper's fang as he crouches low.
Looking between Nyoka and Calamus, she's going to turn. She's going to say, "This is not what I trained you to be." And looking to Nyoka, she's going to say, "This is not what I hoped you would come from with this." And instead of in that moment, instead of standing side by side with Calamus, she's going to position herself so it's the three of them in a triangle formation. And she's going to have fate in both of her hands, intending to fight both of them.
What is your intention here, Ingrid? To stop them? To kill them?
Yes, to stop them if she has to.
I know one of their intents, but Calamus, will you be stopped, short of death?
Calamus is taking the position of the patient lion. He's just pacing, waiting for Nyoka to attack.
the viper strikes. And it is a clash of lion and bear and serpent. And it lasts a lifetime. Nyoka doesn't stop. With profound vigor, nothing but death will stop him now.
Realizing
Calamus,
that,
your job is to slay monsters. This creature before you is no longer the Witcher that you had heard of. What will stop you?
Nothing short of accomplishing the hunt. To cut the head off the snake, if you will.
Ingrid?
there's so much confliction in Ingrid's mind. Nyoka is gone. Calamus is not who she'd hoped he'd become, but what she feared he would become. And in that moment that she realizes that nothing but death is going to stop Nyoka, it's got to be her. And she's going to attempt to, with all of her bare strength, shoulder charge Calamus, and then attempt to numb the pain with her Witcher training in that moment and bring the sword, Fate, across Nyoka's neck.
You cut him down.
She's going to collapse to one knee after that. What have I done?
You were always meant to do.
Not like this. She's going to
Alice
look...
Stride over to Ingrid. Take her cheek in his hand. She's knelt down. Your indecision killed all of these people. And run the blade through her chest. Couldn't have lived with the guilt. It would have torn you apart. This, as twists the blade fully to the side, this is a mercy. I will remember this lesson.
You go to
Wrenches the
speak.
blade free.
You go to speak, Ingrid, and blood fills your mouth. The final words of Calamus, the Witcher, echo in tandem with Nyoka, the Viper, and Renwick, the Vampire. You knew it would come to this. You fall. Finally, at peace. And this is when you wake, Ingrid. What do you do?
Ingrid was probably sleeping with fate stuck into the ground in her meditative stance. So she's probably still clutching onto it tightly. Her
Are you
breath
outdoors,
heavy.
Ingrid?
Yeah, she's outside. She was outside, sitting watch as she usually did, or attempting to.
Calamus, you see Ingrid, awake with a start. She clutches her sword. I think you're muted, my friend.
Oh,
No, you're good. We got you.
how about now?
Perfect.
Good.
Ingrid?
Hearing Calamus's voice in that moment after all that, you see something you probably haven't even seen in your physical training with her. In mere moments, she is on her feet, blade in full swing towards you, but stopping just short of striking you. Her eyes are wide, and her breath is fogging out of her mouth, and she's like, Calamus. She's gonna pull her blade back and stick it back into the ground.
I think in that
I'm sorry.
moment, Calamus has developed a reflex. And when Ingrid made that very quick movement, the dagger dropped into their hand from the sheath and was turned to bring up. Calamus just looks down for a moment.
Reflexes. I'm sorry.
You have my apology as well. He'll just spin the dagger back around and tuck it.
Cersei, amidst your tears, you hear outside. You can hear the yell of Ingrid.
I think Cersei would hear that and try to compose herself so no one hears her and wipe her face.
Are you coming out?
No.
Ingrid's gonna look to Calamus. And she's gonna say, a dream took me in the night. One of the type that I've been loath to have. The reason I have not slept, truly slept, since the time that we have met and before so. Again, I apologize for my motion.
It's alright, Ingrid. I suspect if you and I both had strange dreams, then perhaps we all did.
We're close to Heron Kaduk. Wait. Did you have one as well?
Did.
Tell me, was he there?
I think so. Be sure.
Then it is worse than I have feared.
It wasn't a bad dream, Ingrid.
Mine was.
I know what I have to do.
We are not ready for this. You are not ready for this. And her eyes are serious, even more serious than you've ever seen them before. It's not it's not just the dead emotion of the Witcher eyes that you see. It is knowing that death is coming.
It's all right to be afraid.
Yes, but fear can also get you killed. If you had a dream, and I had the dream, then she's going to look to the tents where Cersei and Relg
It is
are.
now that you realize that Relg is awake. Bow in hand, strung, an arrow knocked, in a ready position. Very clearly having aimed it prior. No telling who she was aiming it at, though. Apologies. Cersei is still in the tent, I presume?
Calamus, you see the Relg. Bless you, Calamus. It is cold.
Quite cold.
You see the Relg. I must check on Cersei.
You say.
And Ingrid is going to hesitate for a moment, rest a hand on your shoulder, and squeeze it really hard. Calamus, what I'm training you to be is not me. You must be better than me. And then she's just going to move.
Ingrid. I saw someone. A Witcher.
She's stopped for a moment, but she's not looking at you. Who'd you see?
Couldn't make out his face or the face of his amulet.
Could be many things.
I've never much put stock in fate. Here you are with two hands wrapped firmly around it. I don't think we have much of a choice anymore.
We don't, but we need to be as prepared as we can be. And Calamus, it's then that she finally looks back at you. I'm different in many respects than a typical Witcher. And I've come to realize that the older I get. Perhaps it's a difference in the mutations as they hit me. Perhaps it's something different. I do not understand it. But becoming a Witcher will change you. For as much as I can prepare you, make sure you prepare yourself for that change. And try not to lose yourself to it. Please. Not just for my sake or for your own, but for his. And she's going to look to Relg before turning back and starting towards the tent.
Do this. You join Cersei. Now, not to break from the emotion of the situation, but we constantly forget that the cart can sleep.
I was sleeping at the cart.
Oh, cart.
Even I am guilty of saying tent. But you head back to the cart for clarification.
Yes.
Cersei, being God's favorite princess, refusing to sleep in a tent on the dirt.
You know it.
What's wrong with the
Obviously.
dirt and the snow and the grass, Cersei?
It's quite warm in here amongst my things.
You find Cersei. How does she find you, Cersei?
Cersei is writing down the herbs that she just popped in her head in her dream. So if I may, I'd actually like that list at some point.
I would like you to
Your
roll
fucking
me.
memory.
For my memory?
I
Yeah.
would like you to roll me for your memory. So with this, I want you to roll me. Let's get weird with it. Let's call this. I'm gonna regret saying this. Roll me your magic training.
Can I make you a devil's bargain, Gilbert?
I'm not sure it would be necessary, as Cersei still has all her luck, as do all of you. But
Oh,
go
right,
ahead,
luck.
shoot for me.
Damn, I should have
Yeah.
luck parried.
Luck parried.
If I were to donate all 7 of my luck to this roll, I would be willing to sacrifice regaining any of it at the beginning of the next session.
I am uncomfortable with how willing you are to make a devil's bargain. It's getting to the point where it's no longer a devil's bargain from me. It's just, hey, I'd like to sell my soul, please.
Yeah.
Says the people who have all made devil's bargains in a specific other game. I just want to point that out.
So, yes, I accept.
Oh no.
7 luck, Cersei.
Alright, I was gonna use 3 of my luck.
10 luck at your disposal.
Plus 16. That's already a 26.
It's naturally a 26.
Yeah.
Love
That's
the
funny.
constantly love the hey Satan, it's me again.
10. 10. 8.
You sold your no soul for nothing, boy.
And I do it again!
Okay, well, let's think about it with a 50 something?
26 plus 28 is 64.
Oh, with a 64. So I could get the list. I could get Yennefer's. I could get
Yennefer's personal number?
Or
Yes,
contact
Yennefer's on speed
details.
dial. No, she knows that she taught me the spell.
You
Get everything.
with a 64.
Can
With a 64.
I also just
I will send you the list. As well, I'll send you the complete list of what I did not list verbally. As well, this was a dream. At risk of pulling back the curtain a bit too much, these are dreams yet not in this specific session. You do not know the spell that you were casting, but you know it exists, and you know that Yennefer is the key. She knows it. So you know who you need to go speak with. As well with the 64, with having done the spell in this not dream, I will reduce the cost of learning it when it comes time to learn it, as well as the time it will take.
Can I also point out that we're trusting herbs from a Renwick dream?
Well,
Julia Renwick dream.
For the again for the 64, there are certain things you just wouldn't know. For clarification, the list I'm going to send you is a list of confirmed and a list of rumored herbs, but with your high ass roll and Calamus' Devil's Bargain, I will grant you where you could go to confirm whether or not this is the herb that was used, as well as individuals that Dream You would have sought out and spoken with other people that would have attempted the trials or modified them and are using them today. So, how does that sound? Does that sound fair?
Fair.
That sounds
That
super
sounds
fair. Also, want to say I think this is the highest roll of the game so far.
Accurate.
I rolled a 52
Yeah.
in that fight with the Bruxa.
Mm-hmm.
That was impressive.
I think Nyoka
the
might
highest
have
I've
a
rolled was a-
runner-up, but I have to look back at episodes. But continue, please. It is your scene.
Probably the scene where Nyoka one hit the higher vampire. So
That was 40
yeah.
something. Anyway, Cersei is writing something down.
Got defensive there.
Is writing something down. The staff is propped up next to her. And she has another list or another notepad to her right, opened up and ready for a new list.
So Ingrid steps into the cart, probably ducks into the cart, and sees this, takes it in for a second, and she's gonna say, "I'm not disturbing you, am I?"
She'll just look up. No, good morning.
Give me a deception roll, Cersei. Ingrid, I would like you to roll me human perception, please.
Of course.
Pretty
On it.
good.
I'm gonna use all 8 of my luck on this.
Might as well.
Okay. Fuck.
That explodes.
Oh.
36.
18.
Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Ingrid, it's not so much anything that she can really control. It's just that there's some redness, a bit of puffiness, the signs of tears. It's fading quickly, but it's still there.
Ingrid's going to, because fate's probably still in her hand, and she probably didn't even realize it in that moment. But she's going to rest it up against the wall of the cart, probably next to where the succubus wand is. And then she's just going to sit across from Cersei, knees pulled up, and looking towards her. And she's going to say, "You don't have to talk about it if you don't want to, but I believe I have known you long enough to know when something is wrong. You know I care and I have an ear for you if you ever need it."
I just need to get us some food and to figure out how we're going to find, and then she'll finish writing. Elodie.
I would like to try, because Ingrid is going. So Ingrid is an emotional person for a Witcher, an emotional Witcher, but she still has the capability of masking if needed. She's going to. I would like to attempt her to mask when she brings up Elodie, because that's that's gonna hurt. Because she's I'm gonna roll deceit.
Perception?
Yes, please.
I forgot I have nothing in deceit. So that was 7 plus 3.
Oh, not much better. Well, I got a little bit better. What's 9 plus 8? 17.
Detail, Ingrid.
There's a sharp pain that crosses Ingrid's face when Elodie's mentioned, and she kind of looks away. Maybe even towards the succubus wand for a quick second to see what it might show her. In that moment, before she doesn't even let it shift, she closes her eyes and shakes her head a little bit.
Did you dream too?
Yes. I needed to see
Wonderful.
that you were all right. It was bad. Probably the
Bad is-
worst.
Bad's a word.
Did you did as well?
I did.
May I ask, what did you dream?
No. I don't want to repeat it. However, I did get useful information from it.
Do we want to
Yes.
trust information from a dream that might be tainted from Renwick?
It's all we got to go off of right now.
What useful information did you find?
How to make Calamus a witcher.
Her face drops. I'm not sure it is as good as an idea as he believes it to be. And not just for his sake of life, for the longevity that he wishes, but for what I fear he might become. You've probably surmised by now that I am different in my own ways. The dream that I saw showed me what Calamus could become, should he go through with it. And while I also understand that it could be Renwick messing with my brain, I have seen it happen to enough Witchers to know that it is possible. I've seen people change. I changed. And not
So
always
did
for the
I.
better. Would you want somebody to go through what you did?
That's not my decision to make for somebody else.
She's just gonna nod her head. If we're going to do this, we need a plan. A better plan. We need information. We need supplies. And we need courage. And we all need to understand that we may not survive what is to come. And I'm not sure I can lose any of you. I don't know what it'll do to me.
I just want her back. I don't care about anything else. Everything else can come after.
Then let's focus on that. And that alone. I do not think we are ready to kill Renwick, but save Elodie. For you, I'm willing to try.
Well, in that case, I have a trip to make.
And I must prepare Calamus and Relg. For I do not think they fully understand what they might go up against even after what we fought last night.
He's not immortal. Not really.
No, but you saw him fight. You saw how frightening he can be, and how little that compares to what we fought last night.
He's a cockroach, Ingrid. A sad little bug. Thinks he's a big spider.
I hate spiders.
Then squash it.
And with that, we'll call this session to a close. Thank you all for joining, and thank you all for playing. Thank you all for playing a part in each other's dreams. Those of you that got to be in one another's dreams. That was fantastic. So we're coming up on our time. So thank you guys very, very much. We're gonna go around the room and introduce ourselves, give our socials and stuff. So let's begin with Calamus.
Hello, yet again. It is I, Avery, at the Golden Gwydion on all the social media platforms. You can find me right here on Witcher Ways of Old as the debonair debutante, Calamus Accurus. You can also find me being the storyteller on Transylvania Beckons. And you will very soon begin to see me as Edgar Waite, the banker of Duncern in Berlin Bloodlines. Thank you all for being here.
Absolutely, thank you for being here. Did I peep Relg in the background? Do they want to come on and just shout socials? They were present.
Do you want to come yell your socials at people on camera? No, they're currently in their work clothes.
Copy that. Well, just know that I murdered Relg twice, and I apologize, but it was just a dream, so it's okay, right? Sweet. Let's move it over to Cersei.
Hi, I'm Luna, or Jurid by Night. You can find me at Jurid by Night on all the social medias, including here on Twitch, where I stream Monday to Friday. Tonight, I have been Cersei Aveline, traumatized individual. I'm also Rosalind, the First Tremere Prince on Transylvania Beckons, and Rodriguez in the upcoming Eldritch Automata double shot. Is that a thing? We'll call it that now.
Double shot. I like that.
And Imogen Lamia on Berlin Bloodlines that will be coming on to here very soon. I think. And I'm the social media director for this Rolling Nomads. That's me.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. And then finally, Ingrid of Sintra.
Hello, everybody. I am Azure or Rachel. I am okay, but not okay, but okay. I am, as you saw, Ingrid of Sintra in Witcher Ways of Old, Prince Juliana Volstadt in Transylvania Beckons, Kristen Kim in the upcoming Eldritch Automata, and gonna be Maria Russellini in Berlin Bloodlines. So look forward to that. I'm also the creative director here at the Rolling Nomads. And I also have my show, Azure Storytelling Studio, or AS for short, happening on Thursdays. Catch me there. You can also find me at here on Twitch at theazurebutterfly.ttv. There, I almost forgot that for a second. Yeah.
Excellent. I got an email too.
Wait, what?
What?
Nah.
Yeah.
From the fuck
Real quick, what was the email address that I have here is
Let's
starts with
not
Wait,
let's not dox people.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck them,
Yeah.
but okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Very
Follow them
cool.
Twitch rules.
Very cool. So we will deal with it. We're gonna deal with that. Very cool. But I almost forgot about that. Very cool.
Super great.
Sick. So we will catch you guys next time. We really appreciate you guys hanging out. Have a good night. We'll see you guys next week.